So, when Reverend Ann asked us if we wanted to give a talk, she said, well, it's your opportunity to speak your spiritual truth, to say the things that we would want people to know. Wow. So, what do we know? Well, we know many things. We also know that there are many things we don't yet know and have yet to grasp or even begin to put into practice in our lives. I also know that there are deep spiritual places that I have been, and many more are waiting that are so much deeper that I want to experience. And I know that continuing to learn and grow and deepen my spiritual understanding is a huge part of my purpose.
I like that. So what else do you know? And how did you get there?
You really want to go there?
Yes.
We're going to have to go way back.
Uh-oh.
Okay. All right. Well, I was not raised in a church-going household. And I'm actually grateful for that because I was able to follow my own path without religious guilt or prejudice. So early on in my awakening, way back in my 20s, a friend gave me a daily word subscription. And I have read the daily word almost every day since then, over 40 years. During my journey, I have embraced agnosticism, secular humanism. I always secretly wished I was Jewish, and probably was in a former life. And then Jesus found me. I was baptized, full immersion in the lake, but I couldn't find it within me to embrace the church. I went church shopping, but I just couldn't find a fit. I just couldn't feel what I wanted or thought I should feel. And then one day, a friend invited me to a Sufi wedding celebration where we sang and we chanted and we did dances of universal peace. And my heart was so full and connected to something. So I dove deeply into Sufism, and that is the mystical arm of Islam. And there, where my heart and my horizons were opened and broadened, as a Sufi, I learned that it's all God. That everything in our manifest and spiritual world is God.
So it's all God. Say more.
So I went on to work a 12-step program for many, many years, and I learned so much more about the God of my understanding. Then I made my way to a gay Christian church, and I learned to worship with a capital W. I sang in the choir, I was a lay minister, and I served communion, and I internalized a deep love of Christian ritual and tradition. But even so, all of this felt limiting and less than fulfilling. I wasn't being fed. And I realized that my concept of God and even my understanding of our way shower and brother Jesus was so much larger than what the church and what most traditions allowed. In fact, here I was in a gay church, Christian church, and afraid to come out about my true feelings and my understanding of God and my place as God in expression.
So what did you do then?
Well, I began interfaith seminary studies, and knowing that the stream of truth that runs through all religions is the same. the same God, the same divinity, the same sacred love, because it's all God and there is only one. There is only one God. The presence that is never an absence. There is no absence of God. And we can and do often cut ourselves off from God, from the stream of God. But even then, it's all God. We just don't recognize it. In religious science, and finally here in unity, everything has come full circle. It's all God, and we are a part of that. We are the divine in expression. Per Eric Butterworth, we're an eachness in the allness. We are individualizations of God, and that can never change. The only variable that changes is where we are in our own spiritual evolution. The more we know, the deeper we can love ourselves and take this knowing into our mind and then into our hearts. The more we grow, the deeper we go, and the more expansive our experience of the divine. Just like in our opening prayer, I know that there is only one presence and one power, God the good.
So your point is it's all God.
It's all God.
All right. All
It's
right.
all God.
Well, true. Well, I like the way you put it, but I like to put it a little differently. I say only good comes to me. Good, God. Yeah, same, huh? Okay. So let me explain why I look at it this way, and with a little personal story. Some of you have heard this story because you were there, so please bear with me if you have. First of all, the goal of my life, as I see it, has been and is to soothe and uplift others. With music as my medium, Spirit has led me to many places where my gifts and talents could be expressed in that way. And Spirit has also put me in some difficult places, but not without grace and the tools to navigate the experience. A few years ago, during my annual health checkup, I was sent for a biopsy. No big deal, they won't find anything. The next day, I got the call with the report from the doctor. Breast cancer. I went numb. I was in disbelief. I was filled with dread. My brain scrambled to find a reason for this. How did this happen? What negative thing have I been focusing on that drew this dreadful, dreadful thing to me? Am I going to die? Now, for as long as I can remember, I had believed that all is well and only good comes to me. Well, this certainly did not sound good. How on earth was cancer going to turn into something good? Well, of course, the how was none of my business. So I did what any good metaphysician would do. I prayed, meditated, and opened myself to guidance. When I sought counsel from Reverend, and she asked me what my mantra was for this journey that I was going to walk through. I instantly knew, and without hesitation, I said, only good comes to me. I knew that I was loved and protected, and I decided that if God had brought me to this path, I was going to walk down it. I was willing to learn from the experience, and I was willing to die if that was part of the plan. I was willing, believing that only good comes to me in whatever form. The familiar phrase, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, has never held more personal meaning for me. So I had accepted then that this was going to be my journey. Now what? So what do? Well, Unity teaches us that what you focus on increases in your experience. If you focus on positive things, you will experience more of those. If you focus on negatives or push against negative things, you will experience more of that. It becomes stronger in your experience. So for me, I chose not to push back, not to fight the cancer. Instead, I chose to let God be in the medicine and walk forward knowing all is for my good in God's care. I realized, though, that nothing was going to happen as long as I held on to my fear. Eric Butterworth, in his book, The Universe is Calling, says, "You can't have a harmonious relationship and hold on to your resentment, too. You can't hold on to your anger and bitterness and still have a healthy heart and a settled stomach." Jesus makes it very clear that you can't expect God to help you or heal you unless you make room for the answer to your prayers by letting go of your negative feelings. So at some point in my prayer and meditation, I surrendered. I dropped all of my resistance to what I was experiencing. It was sort of a bring it on moment. That's a little Daniel Nahmad song some of you will know. So here I was. My body relaxed. I let go of the need to control the outcome, and I allowed and trusted God to run the show. Then the strangest thing happened. From that moment on, I had no fear. My fear had been replaced by peace. You've heard of the peace that passes all understanding? Well, that was it. That was it. I knew that the God Spirit within me at the center of my being was leading the way. And whatever happened, I was in good hands. I could feel the presence strongly as I sat in the silence. It was a powerful, powerful moment. And you know, I experienced nearly no pain during this journey. I met some of the most compassionate people I have ever known, and my awareness of spirit is stronger than it has ever been. And in January, I will have been cancer-free for 5 years. I truly believe in this mantra. Only good comes to me. Even when the situation looks bad, I know that good will come out of the experience. Sometimes bad or good is just in how we look at things, isn't it? The notorious RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, God rest her soul, said, so often in life, the things we regard as impediment turn out to be great good fortune.
What a
Isn't that
story.
cool?
Yes,
Isn't that cool?
it is. And it's really great. And I also want to interject something.
Yes, please.
Well, all this being said, we don't want this to feel as if we're suggesting a spiritual bypass. None of this is being said to deny that terribly painful, scary, and unforeseen things don't happen in our lives, because they do. And we must cope. And this is when we decide the path we will walk and the baggage we will carry. Will we choose to focus on the pain and the hurt, or will we look through the fear and the tears for the grace and the good that has and will come to us through this experience in ways that we can't even begin to imagine?
You know, this brings to mind that little ditty of a song that you and I created while we were, no. Okay, a little ditty of a song that we created in the car one day while we were driving along. We sing it a lot. Everything is working out for me. 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 Sing it with us. Everything is working out for me. 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 Everything is working out for me.
Yay! Try that. It's a good thing to do. And you know,
what?
Do you want to mix our mantras?
Is that legal?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Then let's do it.
Only good comes to me.
Because it's all God.
That's right.
It's all God.
And as Reverend Ann would say, your heart work for this week is to look for the good in every experience.
And look for God in every face and every place.
Uh-oh. Here comes another song.
Look for the joy, look for the happiness, see the beauty everywhere. Look for that good thing, even if it's just one thing, and then just praise it, appreciate and praise it. Look for the joy, look for the happiness, see the beauty everywhere. Look for that good thing, even if it's just one thing, and then just praise it, appreciate and praise it. Oh, and we so appreciate and thank you for being here with us this morning.